new alliances form, causing old alliances to break up. And it all somehow culminates into a spelling bee? Let's talk about it right here on Ambitiously Yours. Welcome to Ambitiously Yours. My name is Travis. I'm your host, and noticeably absent is my co-host Erica, who's kind of had a difficult week, so she's going to sit this one out, and I'm going to fill you in on everything that happened on episode 4 of Local Ambition. Local Ambition is probably one of the hottest web shows that is exploding all over the world right now, based out of St. Louis. And my God, this season has seen its drama, seen its heartbreak already, and we're only 4 episodes in. This week, we hopefully get to answer the question, who did Mackenzie throw under the bus when she was talking to Helena about Helena's bags being thrown into the lake? We didn't get a chance to figure out or find out that that cliffhanger that we were left with last week. But no time for that right now, because this week we start out with Chrissy and Tia. They're discussing their strategy for elimination this week, because Chelsea is their common enemy, because Chelsea was picking on, if you remember correctly, Chelsea and Mackenzie were picking on Jessica, and so Tia and Chrissy kind of formed a bond together to help protect Jessica, and so they were trying to throw Chelsea under the bus. Well, now Chelsea has immunity this week. She won the immunity challenge last week. So that's going to be one option off the table to vote for. Tia says that the only reason that they were even going after Chelsea was because Chelsea was trying to get Jessica kicked off for bogus reasons. Tia is also afraid that the audience will think that she and Chrissy are petty bitches. Well, if you are petty bitches, then I'm buying into the pettiness, because I love me some messy queens, okay? Chrissy says that Chelsea's photos were great and is looking for an out of this situation, an out to the situation with Chelsea. So Chrissy and Tia come up with this idea to say, hey, congratulations on winning immunity. We think your photos are great. I'm not sure that was going to work for them. I'm not sure at all. Chelsea seems to be one of those type of girls that she can play dumb, but there's wheels moving behind those eyes. Don't let that blonde hair fool you. After the opening credits, we cut to Helena running up to Jessica, maybe to apologize for stabbing her in the back and being a total bitch to her last week. No, she's trying to turn everything around on Jessica, saying that she forgives Jessica for what she said. What Jessica said. Boo hoo hoo. Jessica obviously shocked at this situation, and so am I. How is this bitch for real? Hello, you're the one that started this whole shit, and then you have the gall to say, well, I forgive you for what you said to me. She didn't really say anything that wasn't true. You stabbed her in the back. You stabbed Jessica in the back, Helena. And you have to live with that. So you can forgive Jessica all you want, but I don't think you're going to get an apology out of Jessica. Jessica this kind of reminds me of a Taylor Swift versus Katy Perry situation where Taylor Swift is constantly trying to defend herself from people who criticize her, while Katy Perry is quite the opposite. She likes to stir the controversy. She likes to be that bitch. Okay, so be the bitch and claim it. But anyway, after this weird altercation that they have at the elevator in the building, Jessica shrugs it off with an okay. And I'm thinking to myself, no! Don't say okay. Stand your ground. Stand for yourself, bitch. But here we are, though. We're already a few minutes into this situation, and we're not going to address who threw Helena's bag in the lake. We're not going to address, like, who did Mackenzie throw under the bus when they were having their conversation. Something fishy's going on here. Anyway, I was for sure that Mackenzie was going to throw Jessica's name under the bus, just to get Jessica out of the way for Chelsea. Because we all know that Mackenzie is Chelsea's lapdog. Or, well, you'll find out later. Jessica in her confessional. Because, this is a reality competition show. So, you're going to get your confessionals. Jessica, in her confessional, describes the interaction and says that Helena started this feud when she stabbed her in the back for voting for her at the last elimination. She's right. Exactly. 100% right. Helena said that, if you remember episode 1, Helena said that she was going to vote for Chelsea because what Chelsea was doing to Jessica was not right. Then, fast forward to episode 2, well, guess what? Helena stabbed Jessica in the back and voted for Jessica instead. Yeah. Okay. But, anyway, Helena felt that Jess wronged her in the last episode, so she wanted to forgive her and put this behind them. Okay, whatever. I think Helena's playing some mind games. She's playing some mind tricks. She is, I don't want to say she's gaslighting Jessica, but at the same time, she is trying to make Jessica believe that all of this is her own fault, which it isn't. Helena is, I don't even want to call her a bully at this point. Because I think bullies do have their limits. This is a little more torturous. I don't know. It's confusing, and Helena's playing with fire here to try to manipulate people and play mind games with people. It may come to backfire on her in the end if she can't play her cards right. So, Coley reveals that this week she is the guest judge. And she's revealing that, and I'm getting all excited because Coley won last year, so she knows exactly what it takes to win this competition. So she's actually somebody I would say would be qualified to judge these girls, along with, I'm trying to think of his name, Sybil Smith, the regular judge. I think they're both more than qualified to judge these girls. And anyway, I'm getting all excited because she's revealing that she's going to be this week's guest judge, and in comes Nikki Serenity. Now, if you remember, last week, Nikki Serenity was being interviewed, and she was interrupted twice, once by Helena and once by Jessica. Pretty rude of either one of them. But anyway, she decided that she was going to take her time now, and she interrupts Coley, and she says, "You know what? Yeah, I may be nice, but don't mistake that niceness for weakness. Don't mistake my kindness for weakness." I think that's what that saying says. Anyway, she doesn't say that verbatim, but she does say that. We're paraphrasing. But anyway, she said that she is not anybody's doormat. And I'm like, yes, bitch. You ain't nobody's doormat. You tell everybody. You get that sass in your walk, and you walk off, and you do what you do. Make sure that everybody knows that Nikki Serenity is in this bitch. She storms off, saying Nikki, talking about Nikki. And Coley starts to talk about, how she understands what she's feeling, and goes on to say that she hopes Nikki grows a backbone in this show. I hope so too. And I've been wanting this since last week, when she got frustrated that she kept getting interrupted. I've wanted something to light a fire under her ass, because I see so much potential in her, and she's just kind of, standing by the wall like a wallflower in this competition, I think. However, Coley says something very interesting, and it's not really what she said here, it's what was playing on the screen as she said it, what was flashing before our eyes, because we were talking about Nikki Serenity playing possum. So that's what I'm thinking that we're still talking about. But we flash over to what happened last week between Jessica and Helena, and Coley is saying in the background, I've looked her up on social media. She's been doing this for years. You ladies better get ready. So I'm thinking, okay, who are we talking about? Are we talking about Nikki playing possum? Are we talking about Jessica playing the victim? Or are we talking about Helena playing mind games? Oh man, I wish I knew. It was just so interesting. But anyway, we're gonna leave that hot situation alone for a minute, and we're gonna talk about Tia and Chrissy and Chelsea in that situation, because we cut to Tia and Chrissy. Now remember, earlier they said that they were going to kiss up basically to Chelsea. I'm thinking they're going to kiss her ass. They're just going to literally kiss her ass. Tell her that her photos are great and that she's a great person, a humanitarian. She should be president of the United States. Scratch that. Chelsea, do not run for president. Yeah. I'm looking at you, bitch. Don't you dare do it. Anyway, they come up and they tell Chelsea, you know what? Congratulations. You deserved it. You earned it. Your photos are great. And of course, Chelsea's not buying this. So it's not totally kiss ass yet. But actually, I shouldn't even say yet, because it doesn't even turn into full kiss ass. It was more like an upper lip. Anyway, Tia and Chrissy basically came. They came to Chelsea and they owned up to what they did. They were like, you know what, we were gunning for you. We were gunning for you last elimination because you were trying to get Jessica out of the competition through bogus shit. So, we felt the need to stick up for Jessica, so we devised a plan to try to get you eliminated. It didn't work, but they at least they got Chelsea's attention. And so now this unholy alliance begins to stir. It's like a tornado of I don't even know what I could say that would be horrible enough to describe it. Just a whirlwind of diarrhea. That's what this is turning into. This unholy alliance between Chrissy and Chelsea and Tia. I'm thinking maybe Tia is thinking that, you know what, Chelsea is a power player at this point, so I'm going to protect mine and Chrissy's ass. Maybe Chrissy's in on it too. Protect our asses and just join up with Chelsea and ride through through this competition with her. I don't know. It's interesting because it's kind of like a Real Housewives situation. It's like 1 minute they're fighting, they hate each other, the next minute they're best of friends. And it's a competition, so I don't think anybody really is best of friends, but you competition and money, make strange bedfellows. Just remember that. And that's kind of like a life thing. That is a life nugget there from me to you. Money will make strange bedfellows. So who knows what's going to happen with these three. But I know what's going to happen with Chelsea and Mackenzie, because Mackenzie catches all of this. She just kind of it's with Mackenzie, it's kind of like a scorned lover situation, and we come back from commercial break and Chelsea's, kind of demanding Mackenzie. Now, remember, they've been tight since day one, but Chelsea's been manipulating and using and basically bossing Mackenzie around. Get me a coffee, get my laundry, get my whatever. And Mackenzie has settled herself into the situation of being Chelsea's bitch, Chelsea's lapdog. And, that is no longer happening because Mackenzie kind of grew some balls, grew some big, hairy motherfucking balls. And she said, you know what? Fuck this situation. I saw what you did over there with those bitches. I saw you kissing up and making up with them and being all nice to them, and you know what? Fuck them and fuck you. And she gets up and storms out. So, congrats on your chutzpah. Congrats on your puberty, I guess, your emotional puberty. I don't know, because after she does that, we go into Mackenzie's confessional, and she's basically when for those of you who have children, when they're crying but they're not really crying, you call them crocodile tears. It was kind of that situation, kind of like, oh, boo-hoo, I've done everything for her. I cooked and I cleaned and I rubbed her feet and I massaged her head and she treats me like garbage and blah, 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 And it's like, okay, when did I... it's like that weird episode of Cheaters. You know the one I'm talking about, the one where... the guy with the horse mask runs out of the hotel room and you're left with the trans female dominatrix looking at the cameras like, what the fuck are you doing here? It's starting to become that kind of a situation where, we're watching the breakup of a relationship, and we haven't even given this relationship a name. Kinsey, or I don't even know what else I could call them, but they're no more, because she ended her confessional with, you know what, fuck you, Chelsea, fuck you. Okay, cool beans. But there's one thing that I cannot, other than the drama, okay, other than the drama of the competition and these ladies, I don't know, just catfighting with each other and stabbing each other in the back. I love it when Coley makes fun of Mackenzie, because Mackenzie kind of has it coming. I honestly can't get enough of that. And you know what, Coley, if you're listening to this, you should add stand-up comedian to your resume, because I mean, hey, you can be a model and a comedian too. Kevin Hart does it. Why can't you? All right. Now we get down to business. Now, last week, if you remember correctly, Erica and I made our predictions. We made our predictions. I said that I thought Helena and Chrissy were going to go home. Erica was a little more indecisive. She thought it was going to be Helena and either Mackenzie or Chrissy. She wasn't really thrilled with either of those. And I mean, I wasn't thrilled with either of those, with any of those three. I wasn't thrilled at all. But I do think Mackenzie's pictures were a little bit better. Especially when we were looking through them again before we get to the judge's deliberation. So, anyway, keep that in mind. And we are now to the point where we came here for. We are now at the judge's deliberation. Because last week, if you remember correctly, they created their own monsters, and with whatever they had going for them, with whatever they had, facial wise, or just creative things going on. What kind of monster could they create? Now, remember, Chelsea has immunity, so they'll judge her, but she is automatically safe. She does not have to worry about being eliminated at this point, this week anyway. Now, Coley says that this was the hardest elimination that we've ever had. So the judges had to deliberate really, really hard on who they thought were worthy enough to stay and who they thought needed to go. So we're gonna start with Nikki. Her idea was the Banshee, and Sybil Smith. He is the music producer, the only permanent judge this season. He starts us off with Nikki Serenity's photos, and he said he loved everything. He said that everything just kind of clicked for him, everything worked for him. And Coley said that she thought Chrissy was like something off of The Exorcist. Seeing the shoot itself without just seeing the pictures, I would agree that she contorted herself well. Nikki did. So maybe I was a little harsh on her. I think I was a little harsh on her last week. Yeah, I was a little harsh on her. Oh, and remember Chelsea's guffaw as I don't even know why I use that word. Chelsea's mistake. She said that she was she wanted to be the Black Swan. A, that's not a monster. And B, she didn't even know the story. So, luckily, we changed it to the Dark Swan. Chelsea, the Dark Swan. Sybil says her shoot was a hit or miss. He liked her poses, especially taking advantage of the night. However, the idea wasn't original enough for him. Coley added that she wondered what her poses would have looked like if she had her photo shoot during the day. it would look like a goddamn teetotal mess, Coley. Sorry, but it didn't work for me at all. But and I completely agree with Sybil's analysis of this. It wasn't original, but to be fair, there were a lot of the girls that weren't totally original. But I digress. We go down to probably the worst shoot so far this season, in my opinion, was Helena's mutilated Deer Queen. It looked like she laid down and somebody with like a tractor ran over her mouth. That's what it looked like. She had some antler thingies on her head, and it didn't look right. It didn't look scary enough. It looked like she was scared. But anyway, Sybil says her outfit was confusing. Thank you, because that's what I said last week. Thank you. I'm like raising my Jesus hands right now, Sybil. Thank you. He says that it seemed like she didn't know what she wanted to be either. And Coley claims that Helena didn't come to the set as the idea that she presented like a fallen angel. Coley loved makeup, but didn't understand what she was aiming for with her concept. Moving on to Tia, who chose to be the werewolf. Sybil said that he loved her costume as a monster in a comedic scene. And here's where I'm thinking, oh no. Because when we want to talk about monsters, we're not talking about like Scooby-Doo monsters. We're talking about monsters that, like It, or Freddy Krueger, or, those kind of monsters. Monsters that actually scare you. Clowns. But he says that he enjoyed it. Even her poses were like a comic book style, and he enjoyed it, and he loved Tia's interpretation of the werewolf. Coley said that it took a minute for her to grasp the werewolf concept. I mean, she said she knew what Tia was going for, but it just took a minute to come together for her, and then Coley got it and she loved it. And so it's safe to say that my Leslie Jones love girl, she's sticking around. She's sticking around. Maybe it was wise for her to get behind Chelsea. Who knows? But you know what? I love you, Tia, and yeah. I dug the werewolf too, believe it or not. Yeah, because last week, I said that was probably the most believable that I'd ever saw you. So yeah, that was actually, the werewolf was my favorite so far of yours this season, Tia. So good job on that. You obviously are going to be safe. Lolly, the demon hunter. Now, I didn't get it. I didn't get the demon hunter thing at all. It wasn't a monster. It was like one of those... She looked like a main character from one of those shows that your local television station, like your local NBC, ABC, Fox station would throw on a Sunday afternoon just to fill some time. Kind of like Xena, the warrior princess, or Hercules, that kind of thing. But Sybil completely disagreed with me. He loved the idea, especially with the horns on her head, but her shoot was inconsistent. And I will agree there was I believe there was one shot last week that I liked. Other than that, I agree. It was inconsistent. Coley seems to split from Sybil, saying she loved the shoot because it was crazy. She had horns and a third eye, and Coley goes on to say that Lolly speaking through a dialect was scary. However, if Lolly didn't have that big coat with her, Coley asked if it would be as interesting. Probably not. But, sometimes monsters aren't. I don't know how to say this. Sometimes monsters. You know what? I'm not going to say it because I don't know how to say it. I don't even know what I'm trying to talk about. But Coley, yeah, good question. If that coat was, I think if she didn't have that coat with her, she'd look at like that the the goofy looking dude from the Goonies. Yeah, I haven't watched that movie in forever. Um, but yeah, moving on. Nana as the voodoo doll. Sybil completely. Now, if you remember what Erica said last week, Erica said that she thought that Nana just did too much with her costume. It just looked like a bunch of random things thrown together. And Sybil basically said that. He agrees with Erica. Her costume was too busy. A lot of random things all over the place. Didn't help with her poses, especially since she didn't have a background idea. The things that she did, especially around the facial area, that makeup was crazy. The makeup was crazy, not in a good way. It hid a lot of her face, and I didn't like that for Nana at all, because Nana is a very beautiful woman, and I think she should have, picked something that would have accentuated her face more, because she has the kind of face that she could make anything, almost anything work. She could have done like a gnome or an elf or something, like an evil elf. I would have bought that, or a gnome. Those little creatures that like to eat children. I would have bought that, but the way she did her makeup for her face, I was not on board with that. But anyway, Coley understood what Nana was going for, but she says Nana's poses were losing her. She liked the outfit. I gotta ask though, Coley, how do you voodoo someone? You were like, I thought, if you were in the woods and I saw you, you'd probably voodoo me. How do you, I know you make a voodoo doll of somebody and you like pinprick the doll, but I don't know if you can actually, I don't know, maybe you can. Maybe you're onto something that I don't know about, Coley. Maybe. Who knows? Moving on to the other side of that coin, Chrissy, the voodoo priestess. Now, I thought that the voodoo priestess from Chrissy was just barely better than Helena's photo shoot. And I'm trying to be objective here because I like Chrissy. And I like, and I may not like Helena, but, if I'm judging this, I'm going to judge this based on what I see, not based on who I know or how I know you or what I know you to be as. And so that's why I'm saying, Chrissy, she was barely better, but not much. I would have said actually if Chelsea didn't have immunity, Chelsea would have been in trouble. Chelsea would have been in some serious trouble. And Chrissy, wouldn't be down as far. But Sybil loved Chrissy's costume, especially against the blue smoky background, the blue fog that was, and I'll give Sybil that. That was really cool. He thought it was cool. I thought that background was cool. However, he says that after that fog or smoke evaporated, the shoot lost its energy, and that sucks. You don't want that's something you don't want to hear if you're a model. If you're trying to do a photo shoot, you don't want to hear that your photo shoot lost energy, because then, it just kind of makes it seem like your pictures, peaked too early and then they went downhill from there. So, I don't know. Coley says she's proud of Chrissy for this photo shoot. I don't know if we were looking at the same photos, Coley. I seriously don't. Coley says that she was shocked. She wasn't impressed with Chrissy's previous shoots, but really liked this one. However, Coley did add, she didn't know if it was too little too late. I kind of think it is. And I'm actually trying to pronounce Coley's name correctly. I hope I am. Don't bust me too hard if I'm not, because she kind of busted me a little bit. Well, I believe it was last week about pronouncing her name. I didn't know I was pronouncing her name incorrectly at all, but apparently I was. Coley is her name. So I am trying to pronounce it correctly. Moving on, Jessica. She created her own character, which I thought that was kind of the whole idea of this round, was create your own monster. And I think she did a good job. She created this monster, kind of anime-ish, called Karama. Or Karama. I think it's Karama. We'll go with that. Sybil applauded Jessica's concept for being different than everybody else's. Hello. And he loved the anime vibe. And hello to that as well, because didn't I say that kind of reminded me of Inuyasha? And if you don't know that tale, Inuyasha is an anime, half demon, half wolf. You can find more about him online. It's all over. I used to be into that kind of stuff. I'm not right now, but that's what it reminded me of. Coley didn't want to like Jessica's shoot this week, because she sensed the anime, but then she was like, you know what, monsters don't have to be that scary. It's safe to say that Jessica impressed Coley a lot this week. Because Coley said that. Coley said that, yeah, Jessica, you impressed me a lot. So Jessica looks like she's sticking around too. Finally, we've got Mackenzie as the rake. When I first saw it last week, I will say I wasn't bought. I shouldn't say that. I wasn't sold on it. I didn't like it last week. And I don't know what it was I didn't like about it this week. But, when I saw it this week, kind of scrolled by, I was like, I wonder what it was that I was so harsh on Mackenzie about with that. Because, especially when they were going over the shoot, Sybil said he loved everything about the shoot. Coley completely echoed what Sybil was saying and went into more detail, saying that she didn't hardly wear any clothes and was really, really creepy. Said if she were under her house, Coley would stop her somehow. I don't know how you would stop something like that if that was real. But Mackenzie, I do apologize. I was harsh on you last week for it, but this week I kind of find myself liking it. I might be warming up to you, Mackenzie. Be careful. Be careful. All right. Now is time for the shade of the week.
I call shade.
The shade of the week, basically, are the votes. Because if you're voting for somebody, it's kind of like throwing shade. Kind of saying, yeah, you're not good enough to be here. And boy, were there some doozies. There were some votes that had me scratching my head, and then there were some votes that were like, aha, I see what's going on here. Tia kicks the votes off. And again, Chelsea won immunity, so she is ineligible to receive any votes this week. Tia kicks the votes off and votes for Nana. Now, wait a minute. Wait just a minute here. We're going to get back to that. We're going to get back to that here in a little bit. Next up, Mackenzie. Of course, Mackenzie's going to vote for Jessica because she still buys the bullshit that Chelsea sold her last week. Oh, she still loves Chelsea. Maybe, what did I say? Chelkenzie. Maybe it can work still. Maybe. Probably not. Helena votes for Chrissy, which is kind of out of the blue. No pun intended, but okay. Chrissy votes Nana. I don't think it's because of Nana's performance. There's something going on there. But anyway, Lolly votes for Helena. Yeah, it's time for her to go. It's time for Helena to go. But here's why I don't think that Mackenzie and Chelsea will be back together. Because Chelsea votes for Mackenzie to leave, to go home, to be axed, to be ousted, to move out. This divorce is final. No more. I get the house. You get nothing. Which, actually, Mackenzie should get the house because it was Chelsea that cheated. But I digress. I mean, I shouldn't be shocked, but damn, it's really over. Really over. Nikki also votes Mackenzie. Again, I'm scratching my head on that. That's kind of, I didn't understand that vote, but okay, cool. Jessica votes for Helena. I saw that one coming from a million miles away. And the final vote from Nana is yes, Nana, I'm before E except after C. Would you just come on already? Her vote is for reindeer? What the hell was in that pineapple that you were smoking last week? Because I think you need to put it down, darling. Put it down. Let's get in the real world here. Like, reindeer wasn't... Oh, yeah, reindeer was part of the competition because that's what Helena was. And since Helena was the reindeer, Nana's vote counts for Helena. So, this week's bottom three was Mackenzie with 2 votes, Nana with 2 votes, and Helena with 3 votes. So those 3 got to come on down to the carpet and explain to Coley and to Sybil why they deserve to stay. Only one will survive, I'm thinking. Maybe, maybe not. Now each of the 3 girls has to tell judges why they should stay over their other competitors. Mackenzie's relying on her creativity and says that she started to show some momentum. Okay, yeah. All right, yeah, I'll give you that one, Mackenzie. I'll give you that one. Helena says she's bringing a character to the show that we're not going to see a lot. Earlier in this episode, I compared her to Katy Perry. Did she not get the memo that Katy Perry signed on to be a judge on American Idol? Yeah, we're going to get a lot of that personality on television. But she's like, "Oh, you're not gonna get what I can bring," and blah 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 blah. Save it for the choir that's gonna drown you out. Um, and then Nana was saying whatever the fuck Nana was saying. Like, I didn't understand it. There was subtitles and it was going by too fast for me to even read. She was just like, "I'm grateful to be here and this lovely cast," and I think she was fucking high. She was blitzed off of her ass. Alright. So, after that debacle, Coley's getting ready to announce who is going home. But first, she sends Mackenzie back to safety, and I figured that would happen because I don't think, looking at those photos again, I don't think Mackenzie was bad enough to go home. I think Mackenzie was good enough for another week, another stay. But the first girl gone, and I called this one. I called it. I should play the lotto. Helena is the first one that got the boot, and I got it right. And rightfully so. Probably the best judge's decision so far this season. Helena now, after she hears the news, she's in tears. She's, Coley is consoling her, and I mean, I say she deserves it. She deserves the boot because it wasn't. It was just. I can't even. I've used so many adjectives to describe what that photo shoot was. It was an abomination. It really was. Sorry. But here's the thing: if you're gonna play mind tricks on people, you need to produce when it counts. She slipped up. Now she's gone. But then, in another twist, Coley decides to send Nana back to safety. So we've still got our comedic relief, our whatever the hell is going on in Nana's head. I want to sample, just sample a little bit of what Nana is taking. Like, maybe not the smoking thing, but she's taking something on the side. She has to be. Maybe some edibles. I'll do some edibles with her. But, yeah, no. Whatever she's smoking, she needs to put it down. Again, put it down. Nana's safe, but holy hell, did I call it right this time? I called it right this week. Chrissy is gone. It was too little too late for Chrissy. So I am 2 for 2 this week. Now, rightfully so, I would be pissed if I was Chrissy because A, she kind of got swerved. She didn't even know that she was even in the running to be eliminated. Well, maybe she did with that comment earlier, so I scratched that altogether. Maybe she did. But she was pissed that nobody was sad for her. Like, people were crying for Helena, and Helena was like a horrible bitch. Being horrible to people. And, nobody, Chrissy didn't really harm anybody. And nobody really felt anything for her departure. So I would be sad and pissed too if I were Chrissy. So that's what she explained to Coley as she was making her exit. And Helena said she is sad and angry because she worked so hard to be there. Okay, cool. So did, most everybody else. She also wants everybody to know that she is not a fucking plus-size model. It's degrading to her. You are beautiful. Okay, nobody's saying you're not beautiful. Nobody's saying that. You are a very beautiful lady. But there's nothing wrong with being a plus-size model. some of the most beautiful models in the world are plus sized. Nothing to be ashamed of, sweetheart. Nothing to be ashamed of. So, I mean, you can own all that thickness. Go out there and change the world. Change the perception. You know, it's about time. It's about time for some thick girls to get some love out there. So, you know what? Go do you. But change that attitude. Because you're not going to get anywhere playing those mind games. You're not going to get anywhere in this world doing that. But anyway, people were getting emotional for Helena. Even Coley got emotional for Helena. I don't know what that was about, but I guess, you do develop connections with people, and, Coley wasn't competing against Helena, so maybe, they developed a connection between each other. I don't know. But anyway, now, remember I said Tia and Chrissy, who are good friends with Jessica, and apparently now good friends with Chelsea, they voted for Nana. Now, Nana wasn't great, but she was definitely not the worst. Definitely not the worst. But Chrissy's gone, and now we have Tia and Jessica talking shit about Nana. What the hell? What's that all about? Yeah, not cool. So basically, the popular girls are now Chelsea and Tia and Jessica. So I wonder, first of all, I want to know how that relationship's going to work out. And now Nana, granted, Nana's not all there in the head, but now she's the villain, and the only reason she's the villain is because she wrote down reindeer on her ballot. What the hell? That is some, here's the thing, Tia, I said I loved you, and, I said if you wanted to be a petty bitch, I was going to be, down for that pettiness. I would be a petty bitch for you. I'd be a petty bitch with you. But I ain't down with that kind of pettiness. You got to change that attitude, girl. Because Nana did nothing to you whatsoever. Nana did absolutely nothing to you. She hasn't done anything to really anybody. She just kind of in her own world. Let her be in her own world. What's it to you? And then you're no better if you're making fun of her for spouting stupid shit. You're no better. You can't be slow and a pothead. It's just against the rules. You can't be dumb and a pothead. It's against the law. Well, Tia, I'd love to introduce you to some potheads I know. Your opinion will change, honey. Your opinion will change. Because not all potheads are geniuses. Not all of them. I know a few potheads who are brilliant, but like I said, few in that, and is the key word there, few. Okay, so we're gonna wrap things up here with the next immunity challenge, which will take us into the end of the show. And this immunity challenge is brought to you by C4 Clothing. Now, this immunity challenge basically was the ladies were going to model in that company's clothing line. It's a small startup company out. Well, it's not a small startup company. I'm sorry. They have a website and everything. It's a small clothing company in St. Louis that designs clothes for those who proudly support concealed carry and the Second Amendment. To find out more information or to look up their catalog, log on to thec4.com. That's THE, the letter C, the number 4.com. So the ladies are going to model these garments from this company here in C4, and I got to tell you, I'm not going to get political here, because this isn't a political show. But if that were my kind of thing, I'd buy from them. I would, because I liked a lot of the stuff that I saw. A lot of the stuff that I saw was very fashionable. It was looked very comfortable, and you could conceal practically anywhere. It's custom designing. It's custom design clothes for people who support the Second Amendment, who are gun owners, who are concealed carry, have their FOID card. People like that. And so, if you're into that kind of stuff, check them out. Like I said, log on to thec4.com. That's THEC, the letter C, as in couch, the number 4.com. Thec4.com. Okay. I didn't mean to go into a commercial about that, but they're supporting this immunity challenge, so I wanted to really get their name out there for this podcast. First up is Jessica. Her picture looked rather seductive, and I liked it. It looked like this is probably my favorite immunity challenge, because most of the girls just looked so comfortable, and they looked so sexy, and it was, I would say, it's a rousing success. Lolly was the second one up, and yeah, Lolly looked like a guy. And I mean, Lolly, now think of this. Lolly is short-haired. She's kind of like she kind of looks like Demi Moore in G.I. Jane. Shave the head, that kind of thing. And look, I mean, I'm gay, so I'm not complaining, but in this situation, I just don't think it works. They're looking for women modeling these clothes, and she looked like a guy wearing a spaghetti straps tank top. Anyway, Nikki Serenity was third, and I really like Nikki. Keep doing that. Whatever you did there, keep doing that, because that looked like a completely different person. You looked so confident. You looked so you look beautiful. I mean, you're a beautiful lady anyway, but you look so sure of yourself in that photo shoot. I almost wanted to stand up. If I wasn't in the hospital room, I would have stood up and clapped for you. But, sorry, there was an IV stuck to my hand. That would have hurt. But still, Nikki, whoa. Keep doing that more often. Tia was next. I was indifferent with her. Kind of middle of the pack. She kind of looked like a security guard with a pencil eraser head. And I'm just talking about the blue hair. I'm not talking about the hair itself, because I know that's natural hair. But the blue hair, when we were little kids, we'd have like cool looking colored erasers on our pencils. We'd have like blue and green and orange and all that. And that's kind of what she looked like a security guard with one of those kind of erasers for a head. So I wasn't digging it. Nana looks like she's planning on going to bed in hers. However, don't break into her house with her baby sleeping, because she'll pop a cap in your ass. She looked like she was wearing a nightie that she could conceal And I'm not being sexual with that at all, because I just realized how that sounded. No, I'm not inferring that she is a trans female. I'm not inferring that. I'm just inferring that, if she was a gun owner and decided to wear that, she could, she's got places to put her gun. Then you got Chelsea. Chelsea, for me, was the worst of the bunch. Because here's the thing. Chelsea, in this immunity challenge, was giving me body language like, okay, I like this is sexy, this is good, but totally dead in the face. There's no intensity, no emotion, nothing going on. Yeah, pretty face, but, she looked like a deer in headlights. I just, that really kind of ripped me away from that picture. Mackenzie, her picture, I really dug her picture for the immunity challenge. Her picture makes her look like she's the little sister that nobody better mess with. Because, she looked pretty badass. I thought she was going to win immunity. I thought she deserved it, for once. And you know what? If what she said when during the elimination, if she said that she was feeling that she was going on not motivation, I'm thinking of a different word, momentum. She's building momentum. I can feel that. I feel the momentum building for Mackenzie. So, maybe it was a good idea to rip herself away from Chelsea. Who knows? And then that's it. Mackenzie was the last picture. I thought she deserved to win immunity, but Tia wins immunity. Like, what the fuck? To the local ambition gods who are picking these immunity winners, what am I missing? Maybe it's because I'm watching like a loyal fan and judging it squarely on the picture and not the shoot itself because I wasn't there. I don't know. I just wish somebody would tell me what I'm missing, because I didn't see that and think winner. I didn't see that picture and think, oh my god, that was great. But either way, congrats to Tia. She has immunity for next week. Here's a little bit of what I think foreshadowing though in the coming weeks. Tia kind of warned that she thinks she comes off a little cocky. And every time that I picked up on that. Every time that, somebody else tells her that she did a good job, when she thinks she did a good job, it just kind of balloons her head a little bit. So, yeah, that's it. Episode 4 in a nutshell. So, what's gonna be the dynamic now that Tia is goody-goody with Chelsea and still Jessica's friend with no Chrissy in the mix? What's gonna happen with Mackenzie when she realizes that she's all alone? Like, nobody likes her, but seems like nobody likes Nana either. What's gonna happen there? Especially with Tia having immunity and Tia turning on Nana like that. Like, what's gonna happen there? There are a lot of areas I am focused with. And Nikki, is Nikki finally going to... Nikki and Lolly, are they finally going to step up and be competitors in this competition? I liked what Nikki presented with the C4 immunity shoot. Can she top that? Can she do any better? Can Lolly actually produce a photo that would make her stand out rather than be in the middle of the pack? Who knows? But anyway, we'll talk Sunday, but take care for now. Bye-bye.